Is it worth anything? Today we're talking about antique locks and keys. A little history to start. The very first locks showed up in ancient Egypt 4,000 years ago, so even back then people were trying to secure their belongings. During the Middle Ages, locks were very ornate but had very simple mechanisms. Then during the late 1700s to the mid 1800s, they became mechanically a little more complicated and a little bit harder to pick. And then during the early 1900s, they became mass produced. Now, what about skeleton keys? Well, why is it called a skeleton key? Because it very much is just kind of like a skeleton. It's very simple. And these were really important because of the fact that you could have one lock open multiple doors or multiple things. This is to my cedar chest. So a little history about the keys. Skeleton keys were common during the 1600s to the 1800s. They were cheap and easy to make. And of course, as I said, one key could open multiple doors and things. They fell out of favor in the early 1900s. Please like my video and leave a comment because that helps me out. So I have some keys. I didn't take a lot out of my parents' house, but there were some things I took of my dad's. And this was one of his things with keys. He could hook it on his belt, and he had just various keys and a little screwdriver on there, things like that. So the other thing I had from my dad was these. My dad was a mechanic, and this hooked on his belt, of course. And when I was a kid, I was just fascinated that this could do this. So did your dad ever have one of those? So this is one of the things I saved of my dad's. What can I say? So are they worth anything? Of the ones recently sold on eBay, they were going for a few dollars. There was a single lock that went for $30. There was a group of locks with no keys that went for $66. There was a group of locks with keys that went for $45. There was just a lot of keys, just a whole bunch of odd keys, $45. And then there was a single skeleton key for $12. So there's not a lot of money in these, but it is a fun thing to collect if you collect it because there is such a variety in the keys and in the locks. If you would like to learn more about what items in your home might fall into the category of antiques and collectibles and possibly be worth money, check out my book, Beginner's Guide to Antiques and Collectibles. It's available on Amazon.com for $24.95.